Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
The Sleep Gallery at Schaefer's can help take the labor out of your Labor Day. Rest easy with special Labor Day savings so you can transform your restless night into a perfect sleep. And it all starts on a new Serta Perfect Sleeper mattress, now with up to $700 in Labor Day savings. Or you can get up to $1,200 off on a new Beauty Rest Black mattress when you add an adjustable base. Plus, get up to 48 months interest-free. Transform your sleep and rest easy this Labor Day in the Sleep Gallery at Schaefer's.
Experience a cleaner tomorrow with Nieder House Refuse. Whether it's weekly residential pickups, large-scale commercial disposals, recycling, or roll-off, Nieder House's team is here with reliable, efficient service and the most advanced solutions. Discover the difference that a committed and experienced waste management company can make. Nieder House Refuse has been in business for over 100 years and is family-owned and operated since 1921. Call Nieder House Refuse at 402-475-8361 and visit their website at nbrefuselincoln.com to learn more or sign up for your service today.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for ready mixed concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get a great workout, you get a great perk out because your membership is packed with perks. For $1 down and $24.99 a month, you'll get perks like access to any of our 2,400 clean and spacious locations. Bring your friend anytime and both work out with tons of equipment that'll give you that big fitness energy. Relax in the Black Card spa and more. Work out and perk out with the PF Black Card. Join for just $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, this deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Riddles Jewelry is excited to be celebrating 65 years. 65 years of so many incredible memories celebrating with each of your special moments. In celebration of the 65th Riddles Jewelry anniversary, we will be offering up to 40% off all engagement rings and all diamond fashion jewelry. The excitement doesn't stop there. Riddles Jewelry is also offering 18 months, 0% interest and $0 down financing on all qualifying purchases. Riddles Jewelry has always been known for incredible customer service, one of the largest selections of engagement rings, and don't forget about the on-site jeweler. Come celebrate with us at Riddles Jewelry, your one-stop diamond shop with exclusive Levian jewelry, Pandora Charm jewelry, and more. All at Riddles inside Gateway Mall.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal? A dog, a cat, or maybe something else? The Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fees. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/vetsgetpets to learn more about program requirements and how to apply. Want to help support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DMV. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Allow me to get a bit sappy. For women, jewelry isn't just a gift. It's a timeless symbol of love and appreciation. You have to get this right. No fleeting trends or gadgets will make the impact. Every time she wears it, every time she gets a compliment, you win. Trust me, guys, you'll get your money worth. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Hello, Charlie Stone here, and joining me is Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, I was noticing on your website you have more than 150 new 2024 and 2025 Hondas in stock right now.
Yes, we do, Charlie. It's neat when you drive by and see all the cars on our lot, and we have most all models and all different colors available, and we even have more than hundreds on the way. We also have the all-new, all-electric 2024 Honda Prologue in stock right now. We have a few of them to choose from. Plus, qualified buyers get financing from just 1.9% APR.
How about your pre-owned selection?
I talk to a lot of my customers and friends, and they still think that we just sell brand new Honda, but we sell all different models, make of pre-owned cars, and we have more than 100 to choose from right now.
Well, maybe it's time you come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is the Don't Punt Hour with former Nebraska receiver.
Throwing over the middle, completes the pass. He's got speed to the end zone. Touchdown. 45 yards.
And return specialist.
This time he beats the kicker and one more.
DeMornay Pierson-El.
Not only does the sideline have confidence in Pierson-El, but Pierson-El has confidence in Pierson-El.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome into the Dump Punt Hour. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. As always, come and take a weeknight starting at 6 o'clock. Just wrapped up with Barry Thompson, who will be coming down to the Lincoln area Colorado game. So great time to swing by 1040 Ticket Studios. Week 2 of Nebraska football. Barry Thompson, QB, Fairfax Academy, QB coach, will be there. But this is Dump Punt Hour. We got DeMornay Pierson-El. The host is always streaming in. If you guys want to join in, we got Royals on the brick and mortar. So use the streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, X, Allo, Channel 961. And I should point out as well, especially as the NFL season starts heading up in college football, we'll be carrying a lot of those games, those streams. Important to remember. But DeMornay Pierson-El, week 0's gone by. How's on this Monday night?
It's going. It was an eventful weekend. You know, I think a lot of people got shocked with what took place.
Yeah, right off the bat. I mean, I'll say this much: I got some buddies who were legally gambling, and they did well picking a lot of those teams. They picked basically, let's just take the best odds on to see if we can win. I can't remember what the odds were. Florida State and Georgia Tech even were. But I know he only put in about 100, walked away with about 600. That was going on a lot all week 0. And I think that's the best game to start. Florida State loses to Georgia Tech. I should say number 10, Florida State, ranked at the time. Georgia Tech, 24-21. Your thoughts on Florida State dropping the first game in Dublin, Ireland?
I mean, it might have been one of those games, you know, that they were overlooking, you know, Georgia Tech. It's a conference game for them and whatnot. They didn't necessarily expect that, but for them on the offensive side, I mean, I know they got to be mad at the missed opportunities. I mean, the quarterback necessarily didn't do the job exactly, but
no, the DJ Uyunglele, try to say his name right. It's a tongue twister. I don't know. What are your thoughts on him? Is DJ? We'll just call him DJ to save ourselves trying to get ourselves tongue twisted here. But what about his game it just didn't show up. I feel like he just was not himself, or maybe that is the version that we're going to get all year.
It was a bit lackluster, you know, from the rushing aspect of him, you know, running the ball. I'm not sure if it was timid or just a little bit of uncertainty. I mean, in passing the ball down the field, I mean, they didn't really, you know, stretch the field. and I think that hurt, what they were trying to do on the ground game. But I mean, Georgia Tech came to play on both sides of the ball. I mean, a real David and Goliath type story. And they came out of it on the better end of things.
Can you call it David and Goliath if David is just beating the living hell out of Goliath in the trenches? I mean, that's what shocks me.
I mean, David had 3 pebbles and it didn't take much.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're facing a juggernaut a year ago, this team was supposedly had been. I mean, and Georgia, has lost, a lot defensively wise. I mean, for them, it wasn't. I won't say it wasn't a bad game defensively. Of course, there are definitely things that you got to work on. I think the things that they kind of got to work on, you'll see probably a little bit often come week 1. They're just not they were in the right position, just missed tackles, not getting, the right opportunity once the running back did get to the second level. But I mean, you can win a game, when you hold or, I mean, they only scored 21 points technically, and they got the field goal late. The second half of Georgia Tech, you kind of they were a little bit even, but I feel like the first half they kind of ripped off things. The second half, they just played two complete halves. But I mean, they were eating the clock. They kept Florida State off of things. They were finishing drives.
Yeah, I think when Florida State got up 8-0, Georgia Tech, that's when they put together. It was like 7-minute drive.
If you look at most of their drives, their drives are 6 minutes, 8 minutes, 7 minutes. So I mean, they just eating up the clock. So I don't think Florida State played a bad game. I don't think they're going to be a bad team. You just had so many mishaps that caused you the game.
Yeah. And some of these mishaps, let's go ahead and dive into them. I'd probably say the biggest one were turnovers, you were fine there, but the third down efficiency, Florida State, terrible. 5 for 12.
It was awful.
Not great there. Fourth downs, the few times DJ really did show up. He was good on fourth down plays where he needed to make the throw. 2 for 3 from there. Passing yards, there were 193. They actually beat Georgia Tech. But rushing yards, 96 to 190. They completely got beat there. Yeah. And then, like you said, time of possession, actually isn't as crazy as you think it might be. It'd actually be Florida State 30, Georgia Tech 30, if you're rounding up. So they actually split it.
It came down to explosive plays. Georgia Tech had more explosive plays than Florida State. Running the ball, passing the ball, maybe not so much. I would probably say that was even. But in a game like that, I mean, you see what can happen with explosive plays. Like I said, I don't think Florida State played bad. Like I said, their defense got dominated. But I mean, it wasn't a blowout. Georgia Tech, worked to get those points and to move up and down the field. They weren't, necessarily doing things easily and whatnot. But when you got 4 or 5 explosive run plays over, 20 plus yards and whatnot, that can hurt you. And as we've seen, that's what happened.
Yeah, especially when it comes from the run game where they're chunking off 20 yards. I mean, that's just demoralizing when the running back is just going untouched past that first, defensive. What'd you see about Georgia Tech's run game that was so effective? Like, they've always kind of been a triple option team. They've been very I don't want to say run.
I mean, as I said it last week, last year they were moving the ball really, really well offensively wise. And I know they were flashing the stats of them being, number 1 in the ACC for like offensive wise, rushing, passing, first downs, and everything like that. They had a good balance. I think they got a dynamic running back. I think he played receiver at some point in time and switched to running back. They got a good, strong offensive line that, as you can see, if you got a good offensive line, hat on a hat, or getting up to the second level, you got players, that can make things happen. It made it a lot easier, for the quarterback. He missed some throws. He missed a wide open corner, touchdown to one of their explosive wide receivers. So I mean, they weren't hitting on all cylinders, but They kept the game flow. They really didn't get behind the sticks. Their short yardage on third downs were, very manageable versus Florida State. You had 37, 39, and whatnot. They had a scare with the field goal late, in the game and whatnot, where something happened with the ball being snapped early and whatnot. It could have went a different way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a 3-point game. Definitely could have gone a different way.
So I mean, it's there. Like I said, people are bashing Florida State, and I'm like, Florida State's not. I don't think they're, as long as their quarterback. I think they have to open, the playbook up a little bit more. And like I said, he missed some shots. He had a deep over route. If he'd have hit his receiver in stride, he literally would have turned the corner and scored. And we don't know what would have happened, because they didn't get into the end zone late in the game. So obviously, both sides missed shots. And it sucks like that, because early on in those games, it's like, you'll go back there. Both teams will go back inside and like, well, Georgia Tech will go back and like, it could have been worse than it was if we'd had made 2 or 3 plays. Florida State, same thing. It could have been a lot better if we'd have hit a couple of passes here and there. But Georgia Tech got to manageable third downs. They stayed in rhythm. Their run game, was in the positive, and in the end, that's what got them the victory.
Yeah, and I'll say this: I think the biggest thing we saw was that quarterback position, on top of everything, was like there's even King, Georgia Tech's quarterback. He had some throws, especially early. He missed the guy wide open, just overthrew him. But that could have been 7 right there off the bat. But there was times where King, even though he wasn't having the best day with the arm, he had quite a few plays where third down in particular, where he was able to just be physical and play confident. And that was kind of maybe the thing you were hoping for DJ. It's like, listen, I know you're not hitting the shots you want to make right now, but that's a big quarterback. I mean, there's times it felt like he could have put his head down and maybe try to work for a few more yards. Now, Florida State offensive line wasn't having nearly the same success as Georgia Tech. But yeah, it just feels like it's a week 0 game, neutral site.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think kind of just the soggy, it's real grass, it was kind of rainy, soggy. Do you think that took away from Florida State's ability to be explosive?
No, because both teams were slipping. Guys didn't have a problem, putting their foot in the ground, making things miss. The holes to that the lanes that the running back would need, or the push that the running back, would need to get things going, just weren't there. Again, as I said, if you got an offensive line that can hang their hat on, okay, we do this good, we got this, you'll be a lot more successful with stuff. They didn't really have anything with running the ball. Just about majority of the times that they ran the ball was either 1 to 2, maybe a 3-yard gain, or a stalemate. So, that battle was kind of lost. I think they have a younger line, a new line. Again, Florida State lost a lot of people. I know more so on the defensive side. I'm not giving them excuses.
Their entire front pretty much went to the NFL. Their defense.
Like I said, it's going to take some time for them to kind of gel and get things situated, which is perfectly fine. Florida State will be a fine team as long as the quarterback becomes more consistent through the air. Their defense, like I said, their defense were there. They were on the plays and whatnot. They just missed tackles. And, that running back was bouncing off of things and not, going down and whatnot. So Florida State's play a better complete game, they'll be fine. Like, it wasn't anything eye-popping. They didn't do anything crazy. Turnovers wasn't, bad or whatnot. The offense was out of sync. The offense was out of rhythm. They got behind the sticks, and they got to, downs to where now Georgia Tech is dropping 8. And if you're not that accurate, or you're having a bad day, or you're inconsistent, games like that, you can't afford to, have too many drives, that stall out and whatnot. Are you moving through the field and you get about midfield or a little bit past midfield and you stall out? So that's something that they have to correct. But I think they'll get it together. Georgia Tech's unit, they were year 2 under a new coach. You understand things a lot better. You're more comfortable with what your assignments and everything like that, and you see what can happen. So big ups to them.
Yeah, and that's before we get to our next upset here, Georgia Tech, and real quick, that's what when we're talking about Florida State, that's the one thing where hopefully we'll see this with Dylan Raiola, freshman QB. Like, there's going to be those games where every one of those possessions really matters. Because in Florida State's case, they barely had sure, time of possession. You look at it, it actually doesn't look too bad, but you go drive by drive. Really were limited in opportunities to even try to come back and make it even, because every time they didn't, here comes Georgia Tech with worst case scenario for them. It's 3 minutes, but on their average, I mean, they were having 6-minute drives, eating up quarters. So you just don't know when you're going to get that ball. So if you're Dylan Raiola, you're especially playing in the Big Ten, you're going to run into the Illinois, Wisconsin, I think even Penn State on the schedule. We're going to have those games where those possessions are really going to matter, because you get into a team like Georgia Tech, guess what? They're up on you. Now they're going to just eat and clock or set you up for that last 6 minutes to where even if you score, they know they're going to be able to get the ball back and just eat up the clock, which is exactly what they did. How good is Georgia Tech? ACC, you look at the rest of their schedule, they beat the toughest opponent preseason that was ranked in Florida State. How good is this team? Because we kind of did this with Colorado last year in TCU. TCU wasn't that good, as we found out, and neither was Colorado.
Georgia Tech has I think they have like the 4th toughest schedule in the nation. So they're going to be battle tested, every other week, if not every week. Yeah,
real quick, they got Louisville, they got UNC, and say what you will about UNC, it's much better than what they used to be. Even Duke, but then they do get a number 7 Notre Dame, a number 19 Miami. Miami's going to be interesting to see if they kind of reach the ceilings that they're being praised right now. And then the 24 ranked NC State. And then they finish the season with number 1 Georgia Tech. Or Georgia, excuse me. Not number 1 Georgia Tech, just Georgia.
Yeah, that's again, barring, everybody hopefully gets to the end of the season healthy. That's like, again, they didn't really have any explosives too much, on the outside with throwing the ball. The quarterback was a little bit inconsistent. So I think their offensive coordinator, had called a good game. It was some missed shots, which are going to happen. It all depends on, how confident they are, how they capitalize on a lot of, opportunities when they play these, better teams. Because you're not, if it's going to be games like this with how they had with Florida State, with everybody, it could go the other way. You could be the Florida State not having, your way with everything. So I'm not saying, they're going to be a bastard, they're going to be ranked or anything like that. I think they're going to be a good ACC team. Now, where exactly on finishing that, I'm not too sure. But as you can tell from the offense and the defensive side, they're both physical on both sides. As long as they take care of the ball and whatnot. And like I said, if the quarterback just be a little bit more consistent with the shots. 24 points, that's not, you blew the game wide open. You can still score 24 points and lose. So
just takes one fumble and Florida State's going the other way.
You know what I'm saying? So they would have got 30, 31, 35, something like that. It'd be a little bit different. So I think they're probably, not quite in the middle of the pack, the upper middle, trending towards the top. But the ACC, I think, has, a lot of good, talented teams down there. So it just depends on, where they rank up and, can they continue to dominate the run game with some of these other teams that they have to play that are ranked as well.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting with the coaching. I think that's one thing Georgia Tech definitely won, was the coaching battle. I mean, not yesterday. It would have been obviously on Saturday. The one thing I noticed was, like, even it wasn't just so much that the athleticism was lacking for Florida State. It was like that defense never looked like it was properly set up to take advantage of what Georgia Tech was trying to do. They were really getting away, just understanding that Florida State was going to use man coverage all day long, using just some eye candy motions in the back. Meanwhile, their defensive front was just never properly set. I mean, yes, Georgia Tech did a great job, but again, it just felt like the coaching battle. Georgia Tech knew what Florida State was trying to do all game long, and it was just setting them up. I don't think they have better athletes. We'll get to the end of this year, and guess what? There's going to be more guys headed to the NFL from Florida State.
With you playing man and watching the motions and everything like that, you have to have eye discipline, understanding your assignment, and not be put in a vulnerable position. So with the amount of leadership that was lost on the defensive side for Florida State, you got new guys stepping into roles, new guys stepping up and everything like that, and they'll fulfill their roles. Like I said, they weren't really.
It's a week 0 game.
They weren't really out of place or anything like that. It's just they made minimum mistakes that ended up being a reason to them losing the game. They'll snap things up and whatnot, and bounce back definitely from that. It's not like they played terrible or awful. The defensive line, like I said, did lose the dominance battle, but everybody after that, just tackling was poor. So I'm pretty sure, that their coaches will instill that and everything like that. And that's what happens, like with motion, that Georgia Tech took advantages of, guys maybe peeking into the backfield a little bit, or, making sure, trying to get them to do something and their play is effective by this player not doing his role. So it's a learning experience for Florida State. I still think Florida State will be fine. It's not anything to be like, oh, well, this is why they didn't make the champion, the college playoff last year. Like, no, this is a completely different team. The team has been gutted on both sides. They lost a lot on offense and defense.
Yeah. And it's that defense, especially, we can't even deny it. And that defensive front of what they have replacing it is still a very highly touted. There's a lot of NFL scouts that like what they see.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little bit surprised by the Seminoles meltdown on some of the message boards. Keep in mind the playoffs expanded. It's not like last year. You lose one game. I get why that panic probably set in, because you did go undefeated and you didn't make it. 12-team college football playoffs. So still plenty of time left. You drop one, and I think we'll realize, because I do think Georgia Tech is not what Colorado and TCU was last year. I think Georgia Tech is formidable. Now, are they going to beat number 1 Georgia? Probably not. NC State, maybe. I think there's going to be some tough games where they'll probably drop quite a few, but still definitely not a scrub. One more game, and then we'll go to our first break here. The second upset, Montana State. They beat the Lobos. They beat New Mexico 35-31. That one a thriller as well. Not a great start for New Mexico. Thoughts on that game?
I mean, that's just, it doesn't matter, ranked or not ranked. They put their pants on and pads on just like, the next man. And it was a really good game. They capitalized on a lot of stuff. Shout out to them for getting that win. That's not easy. And that gives, that team a lot of confidence to start the year off.
Yeah. And I'll just point out the quick things here that really, it's baffling how Montana State was able to come away and win this one. So the first quarter, they get shut out 0-10. New Mexico Lobos are up. Second quarter, they find some fire, but their defense still just unable to do anything. They give up 14, but they also get 14. So now they're down still by 10 points at half. Third quarter comes, they don't score, but New Mexico gets another 7. So now they're down 17 points. The fourth quarter, an unanswered 21 points. Wow. To New Mexico 0. They come back and win the game. And you go down this, and it blows your mind how if you're just looking at the box score here, because they lost 2 fumbles. Man. So they lost the turnover battle. Interceptions, 6 penalties for 72 yards, as opposed to 4 penalties and 30 yards for New Mexico. Third down efficiency was not bad. This is the one spot where you think, okay, this is probably where New Mexico fell apart. They were 6 for 12. So they were converting on 50% of their third downs. Mm-hmm. New Mexico 1 for 8. So then that really showed up towards the end there. And then total yards, 567 to 324. Montana State gets that. Passing game they win. The rushing game they win. Really just time of possession, 34 minutes to New Mexico's 25. And a lot of that, like I said, was New Mexico's having some explosive plays, and then the fourth quarter, just an absolute.
I don't even know necessarily, like, what do you say to that if you're, New Mexico? Because it's like, you've been dominating a team for 3 quarters, and literally you lose the last quarter. That's why they say 4 quarters of ball. But that one hurts, because it's like, you do what you're supposed to literally for 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden the fourth quarter, things just break down. That's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, and it's so we'll just go by the plays here. And this, you just feel where this thing starts falling apart here. So if we get here to, this is starting now when the score is 21-31. So the Lobos still got a nice lead, and they got a nice lead. They miss a field goal. All right. Then Montana State gets the ball back, but they lose it on downs. New Mexico gets the ball. It's a punt. Montana State scores with a touchdown. New Lobos, they punt again. Montana State with another touchdown.
Ooh.
And then New Mexico, they get the ball back. Now it's 31-35. They got a chance. Fumble. Lose the ball.
The football gods were, away working this weekend, I tell you.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to ask you about that next is how much is luck involved in football? You hear it. I mean, all those phrases have been kind of drilled into our heads as we're younger about how luck isn't involved in football at all. But you do look at the small sample size and how the ball just bounces the other way sometimes, especially on field goals, just dropped passes, dropped interceptions. And it feels like Montana State certainly benefited from a little bit of luck there. So we'll talk about that next. Don't go anywhere. Don't Punt Hour with the morning Pierson-El.
Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
and electrical.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. We know that navigating the legal system is stressful and overwhelming, but Liberty Law Group will carry that burden for you. When you're facing legal issues, make the right call. 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Stevens & Smith Construction is a full-service, employee-owned concrete company that specializes in residential and commercial foundations and flat work. They've been a leader in the concrete industry since 1971, with nearly 250 employees combining for more than 2,000 years of service. With locations in Lincoln, Omaha, and Kansas City, they're united in quality, integrity, and professionalism to create excellence in construction. Learn more today at stevensandsmith.com.
Announcing Acres' end of summer sales event. Acres has dropped its prices on select late model John Deere tractors, combines, and corn heads. Act now and upgrade your equipment before harvest season. Trade in your old equipment today and get unbelievable discounts that could save you over $100,000. With great financing options and our A-plus support, there's no better time to buy. Visit your local Acres store or see the huge savings at acres.com. That's AKRS.com to see the best prices in the nation.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation right now at appliedconnective.com.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, DeMornay Pierson-El.
All right, welcome back in. Don't Punt Hour, second segment. We got the host, former Husker wide receiver, DeMornay Pierson-El himself streaming in. You guys can join in, use the streams as always. We talked some crazy week 0 results, in particular, Florida State falling to Georgia Tech in Ireland, Dublin, the same place Nebraska opened up their week 0 game last year versus Northwestern. You can make the argument maybe Florida State should have tried the onside kick when they were up 7. Maybe they could have secured it that way. But we're going to talk about luck a little bit. In the NFL in particular, because they actually track it for us. And DeMornay, I'll tell you what they base it off of. Their quote-unquote things that they can truly factor to luck that is not controlled by any other element or a player. I shouldn't say a player where it is a moment where the other team has basically little to zero chance of affecting. Now, there's obviously going to be cases with kicks where you can say, well, they can go ahead and block the kick. But for the most part, typically falls on the kicker's leg. So the 4 things they go luck, and this is how they grade it. Dropped interceptions. So Josh Allen throws it to a Kansas City Chiefs player right into his hands, but he drops it. They consider that a luck play. So dropped interceptions, dropped pass. So it goes the same for the wide receiver. If they're open, hits them in the gloves, they drop it. That is an unlucky play. Field goals and extra points attempted by the opponent, whether they make it or miss it, and fumble recoveries by the other team. So those are how they rank luck. So fumbles, who recovers it? You know, does the ball bounce your way more often? How well does the other teams really do kicking against you compared to what their average ratings are? And then dropped interceptions, drop passes. How much is luck a factor in football?
I would say you a little luck is present for sure. Those plays definitely, like a few things flashed in my head. Maybe the way, a ball bounces on an onside kick. here and there.
Well, remember when the Vikings? I couldn't believe it. The Bills, they fumbled the snap on the goal line. Yeah, I know the Vikings always talk about being one of the most unluckiest teams. I was incredibly fortunate.
The Seahawks losing. The Packers losing to the Seahawks.
Yeah, that's
Like,
really fun.
That is the Chiefs with Tyreek Hill, the first Super Bowl. How they just went off with that.
Evan McPherson drilling 4 kicks when up until that point he was a 60% field goal kicker, and some of those were 50. I think a couple of them were 50-yard bombs. He hit 4 for 4.
What about the time where Fitzmagic whole head was turned and he still threw the ball? Was that considered luck, or is the catch luck?
So the luck I should say what does not count in these luck. The best example I give is when the Saints, clearly it was pass interference.
That's
the guy railed.
That's bad luck.
It's not luck at all. The reason why it's impossible to factor in a way that's consistent. So those plays certainly exist. That is certainly, you would consider luck. I mean, you have zero control if that's the ref, but there's really no good way to collect that.
I think you probably see maybe 5 to 7 games a year where you can definitively point something like that out.
Well, who do you think the luckiest team was in the NFL last year?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Now, to play devil's advocate, at one point in time, the New England Patriots under Tom Brady were the unluckiest team. They still won a Super Bowl. So it's not the end all be all, but it certainly shows that if you fall in that favorable scale of luck, it can give you to half a game. If you're on the positive scale, if you're all the way at the top, like Kansas City Chiefs, give you as much as 2 games, 2.5 games. Now, it's not going to win you 9 games out of the season, but that's enough, especially when you get into the playoffs. And I think this is why
if you hit it at the right time, which the Chiefs did, they honored that Baltimore game.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
that's to me that game's not on Lamar. Lamar didn't lose them, that game.
I think it was more on the coaches. I think we've agreed on that before.
But Lamar gets, he's not a playoff type clutch, or his playoff win percentage is X, Y, and Z or whatever. But yeah, no, that playoff game where the Chiefs went to Baltimore, yes, luck was definitely involved. Also, never giving up on plays. It's a thin line. Like I said,
and obviously you have to put yourself in a position.
Yes.
If you're getting blown out 21-0, there's a lot of luck you're going to need to have any chance of coming back. So there is a part of it where you have to be good enough, but then there's that small sliver where you got teams, especially in the game of football, where time of possession. We talked about the limited possessions already.
Mm-hmm.
It's single elimination. That's why in the NBA, you go across a bunch of sports. The NFL is really the only one, even in NHL. NFL is the only one that's really. It is the only pro sport here in the U.S. that's one and done. So if you have those situations where you got a one and done, you got a small regular season, the smaller the sample, the more that luck variable. I think it does play a major factor in the playoffs, and I think it's why it's an awesome sport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely. I mean, you see, they changed the rule because of the Chiefs and the Bills.
Yeah,
to get to help out. I mean, not only them, but just
it was them. It was them 100%.
For sure, but still. So like I said, I think luck is a part of it, but it's not necessarily it's an entire thing, because people do have jobs, people do have assignments and everything like that. There's a job to be done at a high, for you to complete that job at a high, precisely level of this is, and if it's not that, then you lose on the situation. So I think luck plays a little bit, but it's not to where, y'all lucky, because y'all have this type of whatever, and y'all just guaranteed to I don't think it necessarily works. It works like that. It's a very slim chance with certain things. You see that the Minnesota Miracle type situations and everything like that. They're not flashy. You don't see them every week. Like I said, I feel like there's about 5 to 7 games a year where you can really say that.
Yeah, and it is rare. And I know you mentioned that Seahawks run. That is in history. Since they started tracking these hits, one of the most craziest lucky quote unquote runs because they had a bunch of games missed, but back to back to back. I mean, it was all season long. It was missed field goals from opposing teams, just the ball bouncing their way more often. Even they weren't even necessarily dominating and forcing fumbles. There's times where they're fumbling the ball and they're just lucky enough where it bounces out of bounds.
That was the year. That was the year they lost to New England, correct?
Yeah, that's the same year.
Your luck ran out.
Yeah, and that's one of the times where it was so crazy that you could see it in real time. I mean, I think even back then, like as they're really starting to track this, and I think we'll see this luck thing as it's getting better and better tracked ever since the NFL really started putting those 4 groupings in their analytics. I think we'll see kind of more and be a little more aware of it. But that Seahawks run was certainly one where you just had to turn on 2 games in a row and you're going to see like, okay, these guys are on something magical right now. The other team's dropping interceptions. Like I said, just missing timely field goals. And for whatever reason, the ball's bouncing the Seahawks way. With that being said, we're going to throw to our final break here on the last segment. We do got UTEP. We are Cam Taylor, Britt days away, 5 days away from college football. So we're going to talk a little bit of UTEP and we'll kind of sprinkle that in and talk more about it as we get closer to Saturday. So don't go anywhere. Don't Punt Hour. We got the host of Morning, Pierson-El. We'll talk to you on the other side.
Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too. Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
and electrical.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the defense of liberty for those accused and the pursuit of justice for those injured. Liberty Law Group's relentless trial attorneys specialize in criminal defense and personal injury law. We believe in treating every client with respect, compassion, and understanding. We know that navigating the legal system is stressful and overwhelming, but Liberty Law Group will carry that burden for you. When you're facing legal issues, make the right call. 877-42-LIBERTY. That's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Ready to score big with your projects? Look no further than Edward Stone, the MVP of natural stone for over 2 decades. Edward Stone is cranking out over 30,000 square feet every week and offers a winning lineup of over 70 quality natural veneer stone selections. Their unbeatable variety and experienced team will ensure your project is a success, whether it's a home renovation or a commercial build. And hey, they're not just about stone. They've got an all-star lineup of fireplaces, cast stone, brick, and much more. Swing by one of their locations in Lincoln or Omaha today and experience the Edward Stone difference, your reliable choice for over 20 years.
Stevens & Smith Construction is a full-service, employee-owned concrete company that specializes in residential and commercial foundations and flat work. They've been a leader in the concrete industry since 1971, with nearly 250 employees combining for more than 2,000 years of service. With locations in Lincoln, Omaha, and Kansas City, they're united in quality, integrity, and professionalism to create excellence in construction. Learn more today at stevensandsmith.com.
Announcing Acres' end of summer sales event. Acres has dropped its prices on select late model John Deere tractors, combines, and corn heads. Act now and upgrade your equipment before harvest season. Trade in your old equipment today and get unbelievable discounts that could save you over $100,000. With great financing options and our A-plus support, there's no better time to buy. Visit your local Acres store or see the huge savings at acres.com. That's AKRS.com to see the best prices in the nation.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation right now at appliedconnective.com.
This is the Don't Punt Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Pierson-El.
All right, final segment. We're going to talk a little bit of Husker football. Finally, final segment. Like I said, we'll sprinkle this in more and more as we get closer to Saturday's game. Huskers host UTEP. The first time in 4 years. Well, I should say first time in 5. Last 4 seasons, they had to start the game, and not only on the road, but it was also a conference opponent on the road. So they've really never had an easy home opener, let alone being at home, let alone it being an easier non-con opponent. But they got UTEP, and the first thing I want to go through here, and then like I said, if we got time, we'll talk about it a little more. We finally got the depth chart, and the one thing that sticks out to me is the running back room. You got Ramir Johnson, or Emmett Johnson, or Gabe Irvin. And then second string, Dante Dowdle, or second, third, fourth. You put him at fourth if 1, 2, and 3 are all ors. But you're basically getting from this right now that the running back room isn't decided, but that you got Ramir Johnson, Emmett Johnson, Gabe Irvin Jr. all in the mix for it. Thoughts on the running back room? So far as it sits, it's still up for the grabbing.
They'll release another depth chart right as the game comes out. I'm not too worried about it. They probably know, who it's gonna be depending on kind of what they're gonna face. I think UTEP runs what, a 3-3-5. That's the same thing that we run.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me double check.
So it just depends. It might be between 1 to 2 guys. I'm not looking too much into that. The depth chart is kind of a smoke screen a little bit, so you won't really know until about maybe 48 hours really before the game exactly, what's going to be, or, right even on game day where, the official depth chart will be released. So, I mean, it's smoke and mirrors right now. I'm not too concerned about it.
Yeah. Like I said, and especially this UTEP game, I'm okay if it's still open to the running back room. Out of all the positions, that certainly feels like one where over the course of the first few games, you see a running back emerge and kind of just grab it. But right now, I am a little bit surprised to see Ramir Johnson. It's good to see that he's in the mix because, again, I think people forget about how long he's been a Husker. And unfortunately, injuries have just never been on his side. The other thing I want to talk about that's interesting before we wrap things up, as we've only got a couple minutes left, throw it over Chance of Burlington. Kick returners. We got another familiar name on there that, again, still on the roster. IGC, Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. He'll be on punt return, and then kick return. They do got Ramir Johnson or Ja'Cory Barney Jr. Ja'Cory Barney Jr. is also listed for punt return, but IGC is listed as that first guy off. And then with the, like I said, kick return, it can be Ramir Johnson or Ja'Cory Barney Jr. Thoughts on those guys back there? Just because it has
they were talking about liking, IGC a lot. So, I mean, I'm not surprised that he's up there for you said the punt returner.
Yeah, so they got for punt return, they got IGC, and kick return, they got Ramir Johnson and Ja'Cory Barney Jr.
I kind of might think I think Ramir might be out of it. I don't know too many, well, at least as of now, I don't know too many teams that put their starting running back off at kickoff. So you can probably.
I think that's why they got Ja'Cory Barney Jr. or as like he can. I think both those guys, depending on how Ramir Johnson does in that running back room, they got Ja'Cory Barney Jr. listed as the other 1A, 1B.
I don't think if Ramir's number listed as 1 on the list, I don't think he's the starting running back. That's just me personally. Like I said, you might have some teams that do it. But even across the NFL don't put their starting running backs back there. So I'm not too sure on that one. I think he probably might be out of the running for the starting running back role. But again, still exciting guys, shifty guys back there and whatnot. Hopefully, they can bring some pop, bust some things open. I'm excited to see. Because we did have some returns in the spring game and whatnot, so definitely expecting hopefully some type of excitement.
Yep. And the final thing on this thing that really sticks out, because I think the defense, there's not a ton of surprises there. And we'll have time to go over that again another night this week. But offensively, it's crazy when you look at the wide receiver room. So at slot, you got Bonner. Wide receiver, you got Jamal Banks, and you got Isaiah Nayor. Second string, then you get to Jalen Lloyd, Ja'Cory Barney Jr., IGC. But those first three for wide receiver and then your slot, none of those guys were on the roster last year. Not a single one. And I think it just says a lot about how much overhaul this wide receiver room is going to have. I know they're all a bunch of new transfers, but what is your confidence in this wide receiver room? You got a bunch of new guys, but they're poised to be starting for us.
I think we have enough guys in the room that you know and seen enough from that can make things happen, whether if it's a transfer guy or a guy that was here. Even I think the Bullock's been here for a minute. Like you know what you're getting, from him. IGC, you know what you're getting from him. So it's an experienced room. That's a room that I really don't have too much concerns about. That they haven't been the issue. I'm excited to see, what exactly what are you going to do? Are you going to be, in 10 personnel, which is more wide receivers out there? What does your 12 personnel look like when there's only 2 tight ends out there? Because you can mix in the Carter Nelson, you can mix in him. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what are they trying to do with what guys out there. Because I think, majority of them can fly, majority of them can, make plays and everything like that. But to see what the rotation is and whatnot and see, what flourishes and everything like that, that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, and Carter Nelson being in that the wide receiver at that slot positions, that's a hell of a room to kind of walk into. And I'll be curious. He's listed as third right now. Again, this first week one, we'll see how this thing kind of shifts as the season goes on. But he is listed as a slot, not in that tight end position. They got Fedoni, Borkature, and then for that third tight end, they got Lindenmeyer. So they kept with it. Carter Nelson keeping him at that slot. So that's going to wrap it up for us. Shout out to Morning Pierson-El on time as always. Chancellor Brewington up next, and he's got Corn Crazed streaming in, one of the more famous Twitter accounts out there for Husker football. So don't go anywhere. We'll keep it rolling. We'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.